Walker, Jr., single, double, Walker, Stinger, Kristian Walker, having a day.
Let's go!
I
was trying to headbang on beat, and it got really
there was a lot.
There was
a lot of laughing. That was off beat.
I have rhythm, I promise.
Yeah, we're all around here. But we're very excited because the Diamondbacks win, and we are the PHNX D-backs show right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as the mayor of the city of Phoenix. This man next to me, he is Mr. Electricity himself, the one and only Shawn. Also, the Thunderstick down there, Jesse Friedman. And we are very excited to tell you that the Arizona Diamondbacks have won their second series in a row. Is that right? Does the math add up?
The math checks out.
Are we back? Are we back? Or are we back up is the question. I know somebody who is back up, and that is Kristian Walker.
With the word out.
Kristian Walker, 5 home runs in 5 games, 4 home runs in this 3-game series, just smashing the ball.
And separated himself from Lourdes.
He really did, because he had a crazy they were very closely linked in their stats prior to today, but Lourdes actually left the game with a left hip contusion. Didn't hustle up the line on a double play. Turned out he was hurt on that, so they removed him from the game. We'll get some more information about that as soon as we can, but going back to Kristian Walker, man, we know he absolutely smashes the ball in Colorado, but the Diamondbacks needed it in this series. The bullpen, once again, was not reliable, and without Walker's contributions, this would have looked probably a lot like some of those losses that we got during that stretch where Kristian Walker wasn't very good.
Yeah, Kristian Walker was just huge in the series. I mean, I don't know how you can possibly say enough. I mean, the man had 9 RBI. If I'm not mistaken, 4 homers, 9 RBI. The Diamondbacks scored 21 runs in the series as a whole. So basically, every other time they scored a run, it was because Kristian Walker drove that run in. He's kind of the engine powering this offense when a lot of other guys have struggled. I think we've started to see some guys come out of that a little bit. You mentioned Lourdes Gurriel looking a little bit better. Hopefully, he comes out of this game okay. But yeah, I mean, that's the story of this game and of this series for the Diamondbacks. Is Kristian Walker was the difference between, a series win and a series loss, maybe even a series win and a sweep with how these 3 games went. Yeah. Just absolutely enormous series for him all the way around.
And I mean, I feel like that was one of the storylines of the slump too, or at least the offense's slump, is just as he wasn't producing. Yeah. And so it obviously is huge for him, but huge for the team to have that, like Jesse said, have that spark back, because there's obviously a lot of there's guys with talent, at least offensively, on this team. But if there's a guy that's going to provide a spark, hit a home run, it's going to be Kristian Walker.
And we talked about Ketel Marte kind of towing the line during that stretch when no one else really was contributing much offensively. But now again, especially with Walker contributing like this, it just makes the big difference. Like, again, we were just kind of talking about it, but without the offensive output that they had in these last 2 games, these would have gone much like Game 1 and a lot of the games that they lost so far over this stretch that's been so difficult for them. But they did what they needed to do. They took care of business against Colorado Rockies, and that's important because, again, there are a lot of opportunities here now for them to play opponents that are ahead of them in the wild card standings or close behind them in the San Diego Padres, which is their next upcoming series. But, of course, it goes without saying that our king snake of this game and of this series is Kristian Walker. Bang, bang. 6 for 11 in the series, 4 home runs, 9 RBI. An absolute madman in this series, and something the Diamondbacks needed. They needed somebody to step up like this, and Walker was the guy.
First off, from now on, I'm going to humbly request that if we have Kristian Walker's name spelled out anywhere, we use his full government name,
Kristian Dixon Walker.
If you want to add the big, that's up to you.
Is that all right?
He is Kristian Dixon Walker. I always want to call him Waters, but yeah, I mean, he's back. The backs are back. With Walker's back. I mean, like we just said, big home runs or big hits. Like, that's when this offense needs them. This is the guy you're going to look at first, and he did that.
You guys like that picture?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
There you go.
We got the guns in there. Kyle Lewis also contributed today. It's great to see him come up and be able to do something for this team. And I mean, there was a lot of good moments, but also a lot of bad. We talked about this series kind of being sloppy at times, and this game was no different than that. There was a lot of bad things that happened in this game, just things that shouldn't have happened. Corbin Carroll stealing third and getting thrown out with nobody on in the 8th inning.
Which he did not get thrown out.
Right.
But they didn't have a challenge.
Yeah, but they didn't have a challenge at that point, right? Nick Ahmed had a very exciting triple that he attempted to extend into an inside the park home run and was out at the plate. That one, I mean, there's a lot. Like, we watched the 3D breakdown animation of that on MLB.com, and I will say that was not only hilarious, but you could see that he wasn't even at third yet before they were picking the ball up and throwing it. And, like, I still don't understand why they went ahead and sent Nick Ahmed there. This game ended up being fairly close, and that one run could have made the difference.
Yeah, but like I said in the moment, if I know damn well that if my ass was there when it was happening, I would have been screaming my head off, and I think most fans would have been screaming their head off, and the bench appeared to be screaming their head off to send him. So, like, I mean, obviously, if you're the third base coach, you got to do your job, and it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. That's a different conversation. But, like, in the moment, I wasn't too upset about it.
I thought it was pretty egregious.
I mean, it was certainly egregious, but I like in that moment. Everyone wants the inside the park home run.
Sure, yeah, inside the park homers are obviously really fun,
especially if that ball gets thrown and it like bounces away from the catcher or something, and then everyone will be like, "See, you should have sent him."
Yeah, no, that's fair. Jose Herrera also clanked one that he kind of admired for a little too long off the right field fence to Nolan Jones, and then he got thrown out trying to make a single into a double.
Which Nick Ahmed also kind of did. He didn't really seem to be running out of the box at first, like he thought it was going to be a run or something. So I don't know.
It wasn't great, but they got enough today for the win, and a big part of that was Slade Cecconi and his start in the game. He had a pretty good start, but things went wrong for him there in the fifth inning. He did last 4 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 4 on 76 pitches. So honestly, at Coors Field, that's kind of a win. I feel like that's a fairly good day. I know they probably would have liked to get some more length out of him, and the bullpen coming in did kind of turn things into a bit of a disaster. But luckily, the Diamondbacks were able to answer back once again. The answerbacks are back.
Slade Cecconi had a pretty good slider going in this game. He got 13 swings at that pitch, and 6 of them were whiffs. So that really seems to be a pretty legit swing and miss pitch. If it works at Coors Field, you figure it's going to work, pretty well at any ballpark. So I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, 4 innings, 2 runs in that ballpark. We saw the Diamondbacks bullpen in this 3-game series. I think they gave up 14 runs in 15 innings. So, if you're able to give up 2 runs over 4 innings, it doesn't sound great in general, but I thought Slade was decent in this game, and certainly kept the Diamondbacks in the game up to that point.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be real. The bullpen, say the bullpen messed up is not necessarily fair. Like it's Miguel Castro mostly messed up. He let up 4 earned runs. So like by and large,
but it's always somebody.
Right?
Feels like
and
it's one of the guys,
like this,
it's a different guy every single time.
100%.
This time it's McGuff. This time it's Luis Frias. This time it's Miguel Castro.
Absolutely.
Like that part of it sucks. But what doesn't suck is that Torrey finally has 2 guys at the back end of the bullpen that he can count on.
Yes.
Kevin Ginkel and Paul Sewald. And by damn, we didn't even know if he was going to use them today because of how much he's used them. But Torrey did not. He did not do the thing we thought he was going to do and just go with someone else because of the usage of these 2 guys. He went to Kevin Ginkel in the 8th, went to Sewald in the 9th. And to be honest, it worked perfectly. It worked exactly.
It was
like
daring,
it
though. It was daring. I mean, it was 4 out of 5 for both Ginkel and Sewald. And Sewald in particular has thrown quite a few pitches in pretty much all of his save opportunities.
He has thrown more pitches than Ginkel has. Ginkel had like a 7-pitch day yesterday, and so I can understand.
I guess this is where Torrey believing in his guys ends up working out, right? Like I feel like it's criticism that gets laid against him a lot. But
here's the thing: Torrey does have this idea or this way of managing a team where he's trying to manage it like it is a marathon and not a sprint, right? That's why he rests guys regardless of how well they're doing. That's why he sticks to his game plan throughout the season. He doesn't have the luxury to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they are in a playoff hunt right now as we speak. So at this point, all of that, I'm going to sit guy because I don't want to like wear him out too much. Those days are fucking over. He really needs to do this and do this in any opportunity he can to lock it down. And people are going to criticize him for going to Paul Sewald too much. They're going to criticize him for going to Kevin Ginkel too much. It's kind of a no-win situation. But when you have 2 guys like that are able to do what those 2 guys have been able to do for this team lately that they haven't really had all season long, even when they were playing really well, they didn't have this kind of like this kind of lockdown, 2 guys able to do it consistently night in, night out, like these guys have proven to be able to do. It's not going to work. It would be great for them to have a multiple run lead where they didn't have to turn to these guys in order to lock it down. It's just getting to the point with this bullpen that I don't even know if I trust them to not go to them, even if they have a 3 or 4 run lead. In fact, it's been a very long time since they've had that big of a lead. Am I not?
Yeah,
am
the
I wrong?
Diamondbacks have not won a game, I believe, by more than 3 runs since July 7th. That was I believe 40 days ago today. That is a long time to go without. I mean, even like a 4 or 5 run win is not like a blowout. The Diamondbacks haven't even done that in more than a month at this point. All the games that they're winning are pretty tight wins, which, yeah, that's going to be a problem moving forward. Like with how many games the Diamondbacks need to win down the stretch, they can't afford for all of them to be 2-run wins and where Paul Sewald has to pitch, 4 out of every 5 days, like he has over the past 5 days. So, hopefully the offense can get into a little bit more of a rhythm. I'm still not quite there with the offense being totally back. I would like to see it being not so dependent on one player like it was in the series.
To produce outside of Colorado.
Yeah. And obviously the Rockies pitching staff isn't great, on top of the ballpark being extremely hitter friendly. I still think there's another gear that this offense needs to reach down the stretch, but this series was definitely encouraging in that regard.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, baseball's as much mental as it is physical. Like, it very well just might be good for this team to see them score runs.
It's also magical because
that's also true.
Because we taped the head back onto the home run snake, and now they're hitting home runs again.
Totri was sitting.
We had Totri in the spot, and they won. Totri hasn't stood in his spot in over a month, and what's happened that whole time? I think you guys know.
Despite Jesse's doubts,
yeah, Jesse doubts.
I have serious doubts.
He owes Totri the biggest apology.
I owe Totri absolutely nothing. I stand by that. He can stand there. He cannot stand there. I have no evidence that it has any impact on the game.
It's Jesse Friedman's fault. That's what
you have blood on your hands, Jesse.
You really do. Everybody here knows.
Rumor has it that 3-year-old Totri was standing there for Gonzo's walk-off.
In this building.
Legend.
In this exact spot.
Yes.
No way to confirm
I don't think
that.
he even lived in Arizona yet, but he was there.
That's what happened. Well, thank you guys for being here and listening to our Tall Tales in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of the shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up just because we love instant gratification and all that kind of jazz. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, please subscribe to us there. Leave us a review. We always appreciate your feedback when it comes to that. We also appreciate those of you that have signed up to become a PHNX diehard. We thank you. We love you. And if you haven't become a diehard yet, we love you too. And we want you to join us over here and become part of the family. You'll get a free piece of merchandise from the PHNX locker, 20% off all future purchases. You'll also get members-only merchandise from the PHNX locker and so much more. You get partner discounts. You get a free $50 gift certificate from Mountain Mike's Pizza. You get access to our members-only Discord lounge with members-only exclusive content and so much more. So make sure to join us for that over here and become a part of the PHNX diehard family. Most importantly, though, make sports more fun with the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up for it today and use our code of PHNX. And if you sign up, you can get down on Nerfy Fridays with us, which we get down on every Friday. All you got to do is opt in for the promotion. That is a no-run first inning promotion. It's Nerfy. You'll see it Nerfy. You'll see Nerfy insurance. You'll see no-run first inning insurance. And all you got to do is place a no-run first inning bet on any Major League Baseball game. Bet no on the will there be a run in the first inning market. And if your bet loses, but only one run is scored during the first inning, you will receive a bonus bet back equaling your stake up to $25. And like I said, $25 has been doubled lately. So keep an eye out for that because sometimes they go higher as well. So available only on Fridays. And again, if you haven't signed up for the BetMGM app, use our bonus code of PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and you will receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Brian with the best question of the day. Stupid question. Why don't we say Deed FA? You're not wrong.
Nick with the right answer,
because
though.
The
same reason you don't say RSBI.
We don't say RSBI, but I don't say RBIs.
Yeah, I don't say
RBI. It's a RBI. It's a one.
The RBIs thing, like, you can understand. I think RBI is a valid, like, that makes sense. You don't necessarily have to make it R's BI in order for that to work. Deed FA, I just can't.
He can't.
I mean,
it just yeah,
you
just
can't.
yeah. I mean, like, does it make more sense theoretically? Yes, but no, you just can't.
Well, one thing we can do is look at the numbers when it comes to the series win for the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Colorado Rockies. And again, things very close. A couple of things there really stick out that the Diamondbacks finally are on top of another team when it comes to starting pitching ERA. But the relief pitching ERA, very, very bad for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the series. Did okay with that batters, runners in scoring position, batting average, but those 4 home runs, they all come from Christian Walker. And without Walker being back, maybe this series is much, much different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things about this that are interesting to me. The 0 errors, that seems wildly deceptive based on the defense that we played today.
My God, they've had a couple of series
Not all
in a row
defensive miscues go in the box score.
Right. But I mean, to see that there's like a number that's not a 0 starting off the batters and running, the batting average with runners in scoring position is nice. Like they looked like a respectable offense in this series. They didn't look like an absolute joke like they have for a couple of weeks, and that's my takeaway. Is like they looked like an actual baseball team.
That's a high bar to clear. They look like
for this team over the last month.
Team.
It has been.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the maybe convincing series win that you were probably looking for. I mean, we talked about on Monday, like, this being a series where the Diamondbacks needed to sweep the Rockies, and maybe that was a little over the top. You know, they still are very much in this wild card race, even though they only took 2 out of 3. But yeah, I mean, they did win 2 out of 3 games in this series. But honestly, these two teams look pretty evenly matched. Yeah. I think we're kidding ourselves if this was, the D-backs take 2 out of 3, but we're clearly the better team.
Yeah.
Looking at these numbers, like, these teams were basically just going back and forth the whole series. All 3 of these games were basically right down to the wire, dramatic finishes. The Diamondbacks didn't really outplay the Rockies by a very wide margin in this series. They are able to get those 2 wins out of the 3 games. But yeah, it wasn't really what you were maybe looking for in terms of the bigger picture. I think this Diamondbacks team is still getting in its own way a little bit. They made a lot of mistakes in this game.
The defensive miscues were crazy.
And this is nothing new. So, like, when it comes to what we're saying about this team right now, this is absolutely what we've been saying about them all year long, even back when they were winning series after series. They've won 2 series in a row. That's great, especially after the funk that they were in all of July and to start August. However, Jesse's right. I mean, this game, they're lucky to have won this game. They really are, because of the amount of mistakes they made really, really chalked up to them at least wasting 2 runs in this game, and that could have really been the difference when it came down to it. I do think that it's nice to be back to criticizing them, the
little things,
just to not win enough, right?
Yeah.
That's something that we haven't done in a while, where we're talking about, like, yes, you won, but you should have swept. You should have had more convincing wins, and that, again, is that's something that, at least when things were going better for this team, we were saying. But when you look back on all of those little losses and all of those times where they should have swept a series and didn't, all of that could come up to be very big as we get closer and closer to the end of the season and remain in this wild card hunt. Today, the Diamondbacks are lucky because they have their opponents playing, once again, some pretty tough teams. The Marlins are still playing the Astros. And the Diamondbacks Astros are up 5-2 right now in the second inning.
2 back-to-back home runs in the first inning. The Astros.
And so, like, we're talking about the Diamondbacks right now, as far as the wild card standings, not being too far out. Do we have those wild card standings, Damon? Taking a look at these again, this is where we're at right now. Diamondbacks 2 games back. Could be as few as 1.5 game back after today, and it looks like hopefully that's the way it goes when it comes to that Marlins game. But
yeah, the Marlins they're finishing up a series with the Astros, and then they play the Dodgers through the weekend.
Yes.
So this is a good week to make some ground
Dodgers, I guess,
on the Marlins.
And the Diamondbacks have a 4-game series with the Padres, which is very important because the Padres are pretty much, as far as if you look at the wild card standings, this is it. This is the separation point. After this, it's all the bad teams. It's the Mets. It's the Cardinals. It's the teams that are 8-9 plus games back and really kind of are distance from the pack. But I feel like this is it. And there are a lot of teams still in the mix when you talk about these 3 spots that are left, and nobody's playing well right now. Nobody's playing well. If Philadelphia Phillies lost their last 3, look at how many teams here
Cincinnati,
are 3-7.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just wild here.
Diego,
So it's wide open for the Diamondbacks really to make up some ground here and to at least stay in the mix as far as a wild card spot is concerned as the season gets closer to wrapping up.
The D-backs are also, I mean, looking at this, they're now only 3 games behind the Giants too. Like the Giants created some separation there. Yeah, I mean, even the Phillies are only the D-backs are 4.5 behind the Phillies. So, I mean, this is going to be an absolute dogfight down the stretch. You've got 6 teams that are squarely within this race. The Padres, I don't know if I really consider them as being truly in the race at this point, but they're at least within striking distance, and they're obviously arguably the most talented roster out of all of these teams. So I wouldn't fully count them out yet. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy just to see how this unfolds down the stretch with none of these teams really playing very well right now.
Yeah, and Yoshi making a good point. The Cubs just lost Stroman.
Yeah, no timetable there.
Wow.
I mean, it's there for the D-backs, man. I mean, I don't feel good about this team against any other Major League Baseball team that they would end up having to play in the playoffs right now, but that's a conversation for when they hopefully get there.
Well, no, I mean, let's because here's the thing. The way this team is currently constructed and the way that they're struggling against the better teams, it does leave you to feel like, yes, even if they make the playoffs, it might be just kind of a hollow victory.
Yeah.
Because they go there just to kind of get
knocked out. It depends on how you're framing it. Because obviously I think a lot of people's expectations got changed during the first half of the season. But like the Arizona Diamondbacks, like in this situation, the Arizona Diamondbacks made the fucking playoffs. Like that's such a big step. Not only a W, but an unexpected W. Like that. And again, we keep talking about it. We talked about it a lot more when they were losing a lot of games. Like, this was always for next year. This was never supposed to be the year. Sure. So, like, if they make the playoffs and you get these young guys a little taste of postseason baseball, and then also you can just say we really have something to build off next year. Like, there is a reason for Hazen and Kendrick to go for it in the offseason. That's a massive W.
The other thing I'll say is if the Diamondbacks or whatever team winds up getting that last wild card spot, you're not playing the Braves in the wild card round. You're playing... Right, the Dodgers and the Braves presumably are going to be the teams that get those first round buys.
Sure.
If you're the last wild card team, you're probably playing the Brewers. Is what it looks like right now.
I would rather play than any of the other wild card teams. It seems like
I don't think you'd take the Diamondbacks over the Brewers in a 3-game series at this point, especially with all 3 of those games being played in Milwaukee. But it's at least like interesting.
Other teams
it's like there's just an enormous gap right now between where the Braves and the Dodgers are and where every other team is in the National League. If you get in, at least the first round, I think could be somewhat compelling.
Well, I'm celebrating with a Hop Knot IPA from the greatest craft brewery here in Arizona, and that would be Four Peaks. Four Peaks is the official craft beer of the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's also, I don't know most of you know this or not, the official craft beer of Derek Montilla. It's the
unofficial.
The unofficial? Is it? Do I have
have you signed a deal?
Do I have to have a contract deal?
I feel like
I felt like it was more of like an official on my part to like officially.
Yeah, I mean, you can call them
beer of Derek Montilla.
Yeah, I guess it's more the other way. Like they couldn't just call themselves the official craft beer.
Yeah, but I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can.
That's fair.
So
it's kind of like my international sex symbol
of Derek Montilla. So make sure to check them out. Of course, they are available wherever you get your beer, especially at Circle K. You can also check out the Four Peaks Draft Room at Chase Field, which has some great food and is a great place to watch the game from. And of course,
and the full selection of beers.
Wide variety of Four Peaks beers. So make sure to check them out.
And I'm sipping on a golden lager.
Yeah.
The baseball beer.
It is.
It is. There's a specific color that you're looking for when you're at a baseball game. And golden lager is the exact
perfect golden color. Yeah. And it's not a nice light beer.
I'm not going to argue with that. I know exactly what you guys are talking about. Very commercial. Very well done. I'm proud of you guys both. If anybody wants to step in here and do the ad read, since you guys teed that up so well, you can. Damon, disembodied voice behind the Mac. You're in?
If anyone wants Derek's job, why don't we just come and take it?
Fucking throw it out there, man. I mean, make it available. But Check out Four Peaks Brew or Four Peaks Pub on social media to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. Please drink responsibly. And also, like I said, get your Four Peaks at Circle K. You can get all your beer, all of your snacks, all of your coffee at Circle K. It is the place to stock up for everything you need to fuel yourself and your car and your life. Of course, we got a road trip going out to San Diego this weekend, so great place to stop. Circle
I was supposed
K
to go on a road
way.
trip too, and then Damon backed out on me.
Well,
Totally my choice.
Totally his choice. He did it.
that, but regardless of if he backs out or not, you still have to maybe fight Damon and then fight Shawn for the opportunity to win a Ford Big Ben Bronco SUV. And of course, we're talking about buying 4 Powerades for $5, and you could be entered to be one of 10 finalists to win that 2023 Ford Big Ben Bronco. You can also get buy 2 get 1 free Monster Energy drinks and buy 2 get 1 free Beatbox Hard Tea. So make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Right now, text PHNX to 31310 and join their SMS subscriber club to get a buy 1 get 1 free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. Diamondbacks still haven't reclaimed the All-City standings division, or All-City division. Let's take a look at those standings and see where we're at. I'm not happy about this, but they are very close to the Chicago Cubs.
There.
And it's the Cubs. So the same reason why Craig Morgan refused to buy in and fully invest his emotions in that team is the reason why we're going to pass them soon enough, you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because we're doing this, but at this point, it's also just a wild card race. Like,
it is.
We are just we are fighting with
right.
the Cubs for the wild card.
You're right.
The other 2 teams don't matter.
No.
The White Sox and the Rockies.
They're in a big.
They haven't been mathematically eliminated yet.
Yeah, and also, no one talks about the team that finishes in third. Everyone shits on the team that finishes last. So there's something to play for there.
Most importantly, this reminds me that we are now 1 game over 500, and Damon, you know what that means.
I have to ask, were you guys, when the Diamondbacks dropped to 2 games under 500, were you at the point where you didn't think the Diamondbacks would be over 500 for the rest of the season?
I don't believe so. I don't think it was that drastic, but I did declare their season over.
Yeah, I never
gave a time of death and a date and a time.
Yes,
it was a very popular tweet.
I never really even thought about the 500 thing. Like, that was not something that I during all the. It was more for me of like, oh, they're not going to make the playoffs now. I never really considered them being above or below 500.
Yeah, no, that's kind of more my thought
I wasn't
process.
sure we'd get 70 wins.
Yeah, that was kind of where we were at. We were talking more about win totals and playoffs.
You're not wrong. I started thinking about Jake's preseason prediction
73?
and how we might have to apologize to Jake. And then yet the power of Jake being at Chase Field backed up by us being at Chase Field.
No, hold on. Why are we giving Jake any credit?
No, you're right, because they lost.
He showed up and they lost.
He lost the game.
We showed up and we won, and we're just sharing the credit with Jake.
And they're 4 for 5 since we were there.
Yeah, all respect to Jake, but that's us. We did that.
That's a great point. Well, they do have this series with San Diego Padres coming up that Damon and Shawn are not attending, but Jesse will be attending.
I will be there.
Let's take a look at the probables for that upcoming series because
Dick Milk.
we get Dick Milk. Dick Milk.
Are we really doing this?
I guess so. I don't know.
You guys have the maturity of teenagers.
It's Dick Milk. It's not just us. The chat likes Dick Milk.
Everybody
we
loves
like Dick Milk. You're the only one that's out on Dick Milk.
It's not just a chat
Damon's
thing.
a huge Dick Milk guy.
Everybody craves Dick Milk. It's their
Except for
favorite
Jesse.
matchup. I mean, I don't understand how you couldn't. It's Rich Hill versus Zach Gallen. It's Dick Mountain versus the Milkman. If you've been living under a rock, you know that you might not know, but it's Dick Milk time. So again, we're happy for this matchup, even though maybe not as happy on the road because Zach Gallen, of course, is Zach Gallen on the road versus at home. But I don't know. I feel like his last couple of starts on the road haven't been.
He's looked pretty good.
Erratic as his past. Like we were like, oh, it's a bad start, and he gave him 3 runs.
Yeah,
right?
even the bad starts that Gallen was having on the road should still be enough for this baseball team to beat Rich Hill. Like, it's not like he was giving up 8 runs.
Yeah,
like they were bad by Zach Gallen standards.
Sure.
Even if Zach Gallen is not what he was in his last start, like they should still be able to get to Rich Hill.
Yeah,
I agree.
The pitching matchups are reasonably favorable for the Diamondbacks, frankly. I mean, Gallen against Rich Hill, that's obviously heavy advantage. Diamondbacks, Seth Lugo against Brandon Pfaadt. The D-backs just won that exact pitching matchup a few days ago as well. Yu Darvish against Merrill Kelly. This is not the same Yu Darvish that we've seen the past few years, although the Diamondbacks seem to always really struggle against Yu Darvish. We'll see how that goes. Merrill has obviously been good recently. And then, Michael Wacha against probably another bullpen game.
Michael Wacha, the Cy Young winner.
Cy Young.
Michael Wacha has a 2.68 ERA, and his peripherals are that of a number 4 starter, frankly. So I wouldn't. Maybe that's.
I'd rather have
harsh,
a 2.68 ERA and peripherals of a number 4 than be Yu Darvish and have a 4.24 or Lugo and have a 4.16 or Hill and be I don't care what my fucking peripherals are. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna run.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But look, there's a lot of dick milk talk in the chat, Jesse, and I just wanted you to see that. Big shout out to Tim Anchorman, by the way. He's our friend that came out and barked at.
He should be getting the credit.
He should be getting.
He flew his ass all the way from Boise with his family, and they started winning games.
Saved the season.
Saved the season. Shout out Tim on his birthday.
On his birthday, he saved.
Yeah,
the
it's
season.
Tim and his baby and his wife.
Yeah. By the way, Tim, I need to set up a play date with my friend Josh, who also lives in Boise and is a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah, not for your kids. To be clear,
but he also has a small child, so maybe the kids can also work out a thing where they find a common interest or a sports team that they like. But
his baby is like a baby.
Yeah,
drooling, can't talk.
Yeah,
okay. I just want to make sure.
I know what a baby is.
A baby is an avid Diamondbacks fan.
I've raised several of them.
I know, but you were talking about your friend's kid like he could talk about baseball or something.
That's fine.
I get it now. Okay.
Did you just say I've
I get it now. I didn't know that. I didn't think you knew that we were talking about like a baby.
Wait. Did Derek just say I've raised several and I kept one of them?
Wait. That didn't confuse me. I was like, yeah, Derek and all his kids. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. Jesse actually has some breaking news to take the heat off of me right now and all the babies that I have out there that I don't currently care for. But Jesse, what's happening with Kristian Robinson?
Yeah, I was told today that Kristian Robinson cleared waivers and will remain, as far as we are aware, will remain in the Diamondbacks organization for the foreseeable future.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah. And it's good for, obviously we know that, I don't know if another organization is going to care about him the same way that the Diamondbacks are going to personally, care about, everything he's been through and trying to get him back on track. But that's great news because I still felt like that was potentially a mistake. And he was kind of doing well in the Arizona Complex League.
Yeah. I think he's just working his way back. He tweaked his knee when he was hit by a pitch a couple of weeks ago. So I imagine he'll get back up to Hillsboro before too long. But I will say, to be perfectly honest, it does sort of speak volumes about the way that Kristian Robinson is perceived across baseball, that no team made this move.
Yeah.
You would think if you're the A's, if you're the Royals, if you just don't have a whole lot of talent right now, that is close to the big leagues, you might be able to sacrifice a 40-man roster spot for a prospect who's a little bit far away, but a guy that you think could be a difference maker in a few years. And there wasn't a single team in the league that was willing to take that on. So, a little surprising, frankly. But for the Diamondbacks, it's good. Josh Barfield told me they'd love to have him back, and that's exactly what's happening.
It's good for him too, right? Because you were mentioning he was maybe going through some personal stuff. It's good for him, and you don't know if maybe that had something to do with the waiver thing, but
that's fair.
Good for him. Good for someone that's going through something like whatever he appears to be going through, to have a home, to have an organization that can still kind of take care of him and give him whatever assistance he might need in that regard. So I'm glad he just is a part of an organization still on a personal level.
It reminds me of Andrew Toles for the Dodgers. The Dodgers extended his contract. He was a pitcher formerly with the Dodgers that has been diagnosed. I believe
Andrew Toles was an outfielder, no?
Was he? Was he? Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Andrew Toles was an outfielder. He was a decent player for them for a while.
Yeah, but he basically had quite a few mental health issues. He schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, and the Dodgers re-signed him just so that he could stay under their organization for their health insurance and their mental health care program. So,
are you complimenting the Dodgers?
I hate
the
to do
one
that.
Good thing. Is that what I just heard?
But sometimes you got to recognize game, Jesse. And
that's one thing. I hate the Dodgers, but it's not I don't feel like it's an organization you necessarily hear about a whole lot of negligence or malfeasance. They tend to seem like they're pretty buttoned up.
Yeah,
I just hate them for baseball reasons.
They run a good thing.
Supposed to the fucking New York Yankees, who I hate everything about them.
Yeah, you got that out.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've heard that.
Chili Choppin' Taco Bandit Sucka, love that name, says that we need 8 solid innings from Gallen tomorrow. Yes, we do.
The bullpen is pretty dang taxed.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
But those 8 innings mean nothing if the offense is giving up 1 run and then you have to go to a bullpen somewhere, and it can't be Paul most likely because he's pitched so much.
Yeah, there's no way that they'll use Gingle or Paul Sewell tomorrow. So if ever there was a day for the Diamondbacks
CG shut piece,
put up a whole bunch of runs on the board and kind of make that not a game if they're able to find a way tomorrow against Rich Hill, that would be really huge.
Zach Gallen no-hitter tomorrow.
That would be the time to do it. Let's do it. By the way, make sure to check out Factor, which is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Factor, we love Factor around here because we don't have time.
It's incredible.
These guys don't want to cook for themselves.
True.
Jesse doesn't even like
to
pack for
can't,
himself.
yeah.
Jesse doesn't pack
physically
his own lunch.
incapable.
Yeah, Jesse literally gets furious at the fact that he has to wait 4 hours to eat the thing that he made in the morning.
Yeah, I'll barely even pack
I'll
a
say
lunch.
I don't know anybody who has their life more together than Leah Merrill, and she was drinking the Factor smoothie today. She walked into the kitchen and grabbed one in the middle of our conversation.
Even if you have your life together, you can use Factor too.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's true. You don't have to just be like these two guys. You can be like me. You can't actually cook for yourself. You can't actually be able to have time to prepare meals, but then you're just too lazy to, and you don't want to.
Well, that's what I was saying. Leah has her shit together because she's not lazy. She cooks all the time, but she still has a use for Factor.
Yeah, I, meanwhile, am not at all any of those things that he said. But Factor does have, like he said, refreshing beverage options like cold pressed juices, shakes, smoothies. The smoothies are incredible, especially as like meal replacement thing.
Little lunchtime smoothie.
Little lunchtime snack. You also have just all sorts of healthy food, and that's the biggest deal. Is usually when you're trying to get a quick meal, it's usually not healthy. So if you're looking for calorie-conscious options this summer, you can try delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. So make sure to head to factormeals.com/PHNX D-backs50 and use code PHNX D-backs50 to get 50% off on your order. That's code PHNX D-backs50 at factormeals.com/PHNX D-backs50 to get 50% off. And also, you can get 15% off your order with our friends at Pins and Aces, which make golf apparel, but not just golf apparel. It's everyday apparel, to be honest. Don't just let golfers be comfortable and wear light and comfortable polo shirts. You can too. They make amazing polo shirts, hats, golf bags, and even a beer sleeve, which doesn't necessarily have to be taken on the golf course either. You can take that anywhere you want to go. But Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of PHNX in ALLCITY. We love our Pins and Aces gear, and you will too. So make sure to check them out at pinsandaces.com and use that code of PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. And if you are out on the links or not out on the links, or if you just live in Arizona, of course, as we've been telling you, got to get yourself a pair of premium polarized sunglasses, and Shady Rays makes gear built to last. So if you need a pair of sunglasses, or even if you're looking to upgrade your current eyewear protection, make sure to check out Shady Rays. They're just as good as expensive sunglasses, and they offer an even better lost and broken replacement plan. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. All you have to do is let them know. Also, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days if you don't love the Shady Rays you got. You can shop their entire collection at their new location here in town at Kierland Commons. And of course, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Well, Diamondbacks, big series. Every series is a big series going forward.
Yes.
Big series with the Padres here, so make sure to keep it locked. We're having a little bit of a programming change, by the way. So we will be doing a post-game show tomorrow after tomorrow's first game against the Padres. And then on Friday, we will be coming to you with a 1 p.m. show. So make sure to join us for all of that. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. Shawn is at Shawn_DePaz. Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. The maniac behind the Mac Damon is at Damon Dog, DAWG. Of course, we are Damon's dogs.
I know Tim was barking.
I know Tim was barking. Our show is at PHNX D-backs, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Can I just say real quick, the Astros have the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the third against the Marlins. They already lead this.
I hate that this
5-2.
wild card shit is making me root for teams I hate.
Fans
We're rooting
right
for the
now.
Astros and Dodgers this weekend. What is going on?
It would be a game and a half out for the Diamondbacks.
Hey, now.
At the end of the day.
And
fingers crossed. Well, we thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when the Astros beat the Marlins.